Good evening. I'm turning this in as not as late as I could, but I should have turned this in sooner. Since I got my project as complete as I can get it yesterday. But here we are, making a video for project completion. Again, small asterisk. Is how do you? Doesn't matter. But small asterisk. This is not what I would consider complete in the sense that it's not what I wanted, but that's a distinction that doesn't matter in this sense because, well, you and I have had correspondence about the matter. So, it's complete in terms of the goalposts that I pulled back so that I could actually get this completed in time. So, anyway, here's the project completion. I see there's instructions here, but as I talked to you, I noted you gave me this criteria instead. And so if there's anything else I should follow after the completion of this video and redo it with that in mind, please let me know. And I'm only doing this according to this instead of anything else because, what's the word? Oh, goodness. Oh, right. I'm turning this in way late, and I couldn't do this in person when I should have done this in person because I'm on campus. So all in all, here, a quick walkthrough of my project, which I'm already an hour, minute and a half in. I should try speeding this up. So, all you're looking for is evidence that I've met my 2 stretch requirements. Okay, I can do that. So, here is the project as it currently stands, and a small walkthrough of this would look like this. So, I got the model of campus all set up. You can see it looks decent here. Problem is, when I put this into Unity, a lot of things went wrong. So, you'll notice, for one thing, it doesn't look as good. I'm not totally sure why. Actually, no, I am sure why. Because the texture that I used for this plane, you see all that nice detailing, just doesn't translate here, because I had to use a different image, different scaling, so it doesn't look nearly as good. And also, it doesn't even line up. It's close enough that you can kind of see that's the roundabout there, and the roundabout bits are in place, but it isn't actually all that close. And also you'll notice there's a lot of fog in the scene, but there's a reason for that. That's intentional. And actually that has to do with another technical issue that came up at the last minute. I remember I told you that I made 2 separate models. One that is just the surface, this plane that's got elevation to it, so that I can accurately map, the campus on a hill. And then made a duplicate of this, cut it out, and then I had just the sidewalk, which you can see highlighted now, which is super cool. And in Blender itself, the difference between the 2 is very minute, but it is there. You can see it, but it is on here. I was shocked by looking back. It's almost imperceptible. Keep note of that. As we go back to Unity, it's not as noticeable either here, except for the fact if I go ahead and angle the camera. Yeah, no, it looks far more pronounced here for some reason. So I had to tweak the lighting so that it was overhead and added fog so that in the distance it's not so noticeable, and in the moment it's not so noticeable. Those are some compromises I had to make so that this worked. I know I should be walking through this much faster. So, okay, model of campus is all set up. So, maybe I will mention this first. What did I compromise on? Not because I want to put myself down, but because I want to bring context for some requirements that were changed. So, part of the initial requirements, I don't have that document pulled up, but it's now under a stretch requirement. Create an indoor model of Science Technology Center. I would have liked to have done much more than 1 building, but instead I'm going with 0 because doing this took up enough time. And funny thing, something happened, and I have a graph to illustrate all this. So you'll see here, I was greatly motivated to work on this project around week 1, and it went through to about week 8 or so. And then we skyrocket from 100% all the way down to -5. And then around week 13-ish, we hit panic mode, and then it shoots all the way up to actually above 100% if you'll notice that. So some things had to get cut because all this time right here, could have been used for work and didn't. And even then, this was not planned out super well, so I could have been more productive here. But that's neither here nor there. Maybe that'll be in the reflection. Who knows? But anyway, the point is, the SGC building had to be cut, but what I was able to do was something that I didn't have in my initial requirements, having the entirety of campus be navigable. And now, a small asterisk on that, I don't have every single building marked for navigation, because I have to make navigation points manually. I don't know if this is part of the walkthrough, but I'll show you anyway, because I want to. It's under destinations. You see SGC and all these buildings. It's easier if I show, say, MC, which is right here. It's just an invisible point, and it's just an empty object that I've placed here, that then the navigation manager and route renderer and all that, and a bunch of other connected bits here, then say, hey, that's where we're going. That's where we're going to draw a path to using all this blue stuff. The sidewalk doesn't actually look blue when you start the program. This is what the nav mesh looks like. This is marking all of the areas that are walkable. Seeing this, you might now realize why I didn't want to, say, manually do this. So I made a separate model and just said, hey, this 3D model right here, this one, this is the only bit that's walkable, and it did it wonderfully. So I took a lot of time and effort to get that done, but this part took no effort, getting it to say, oh, hey, all that walkable, because I put in that extra time to begin with. So that's good. But anyway, the actual requirements that I have to put in, quote unquote, evidence that I have met my must-have and 2 stretch requirements. Okay, not 2. I didn't reach 2, but we'll talk about that. And actually didn't reach either stretch requirement. So okay, I just met the must-haves. So those must-haves are select a campus building from a list of available destinations that I did show you, and it's also available when you look at the actual menu, which is visible in the sky here. And generate a walking route from the user's current location in the selected building using the campus sidewalk network. Now that's true. That's implemented, and I will show that I will demonstrate that in a minute. Update the displayed route. That just happens naturally. I didn't need that to be a requirement in a sense. I shouldn't say that. That's a bad thing. Anyway, but it works. It does. It works really well. And allow users to submit reports about incorrect or outdated campus information. This I put here because I knew the campus model I was going to make, or any building models I was going to make, were going to be inaccurate, because I knew at some point I was going to crunch, and it was not going to be perfect. And if you see here, it actually doesn't look that bad because it's all abstracted, but it's not that great. So that was really important for me. And now this I could technically do. I could still do it, maybe. Probably not in time to turn it in, but use the device's GPS location instead of manual controls for outdoor navigation. I don't have a way of testing that unless I input it and then export it into an APK, then put it on my phone, and then test if it works by actually walking on campus. And unfortunately, I don't have time to do all that, so it's going to have to remain a stretch requirement, sorry. And the create neural model, remains a stretch requirement because I don't have a model of the Science Technology Center. I did this project all by myself, but I initially was going to have some help from my wife, who's working on modeling the STC building for me, but due to lots of problems, or beyond our control, her control, anybody's control, that just didn't happen. So I moved it out. That's part of why I changed the requirements, was I moved it out of necessary to must-have, because I got the campus model working far quicker than she almost got the STC model made. So the core requirements are here. I could do stretch if I really wanted to. I'd have to figure out how Unity allows you to use GPS information, and find the location data what the GPS considers campus, and just have that be what updates this guy's position over here. There's a little dot here. If I can actually zoom in on, okay, it's not going to go that fast. Yeah, this little guy right here. So far, he's moved manually using the keyboard, but in the actual app, it would be controlled through GPS coordinates, changing the location. So in theory, that's not actually a very difficult thing to do. I'm just changing what I would just be changing the source of what is changing the location values for this guy from manual keyboard controls to GPS information. And I only say it's easy because that's most definitely documented somewhere heavily and would not be that hard to implement. I just don't have the time. So yes, I wanted to. I really did. But here we are. Here is the actual demo of it working. If once it loads at some point in the near future. It doesn't take this long usually. I'm starting to get concerned. Importing. Okay, good. All right, great. It worked. So here we are. And to make this one-handed, the movement controls the camera as well. It looks kind of janky, and all the movements aren't actually based on the camera. They're all absolute. So if I'm pressing S, I'm always going to go this way. If I press W, I'm always going to go this way. Or actually, better put again, W is always going to have me go south. S is always going to have me go north. Now that I said that out loud, that's really backwards. But you know what? I'll deal with it. So, as you can see, it is, in fact, navigating me. I should have, for the demo, I thought about this last night. I should have increased the movement speed so that I could demo this much faster. But as you can see, it is guiding me over to somewhere. And I don't know how to fix this. This is one problem. If I had more time, I would have fixed it. But sometimes with the geometry, the path just shrinks for no discernible reason. Like that. I don't know what causes this. It could be iffy geometry. That would make sense, honestly. I believe it. But as you can see, even if I go down this path and then turn around, look at it, yep, the path has updated. Actually, I don't know if okay, I've now forgotten what direction takes me where. If I go far enough, it will update to a new path. Wonderful. I believe this is taking me, I think STC is the default. So let's go ahead and change this to, say, the Student Health Center. You can see that. And actually, I can move out of the game window into scene. This is not a game. We talked about that earlier. Like way earlier, as in weeks ago. But if we look here, that path goes out over to the Student Health Center over this direction. The same is true if I say, I'm looking through my phone for this, change it to MC. Okay, and then the path updates, and we can actually see that ourselves here. Look at that. It takes you right to Adorf MC. That's a limitation of this. I don't quite know how to have multiple points point to the same. If I say, if I click MC and I have multiple invisible points for different MC entrances, I don't know how to have them all marked under the same thing and then have it decide which one is closest and then go there. In theory, that doesn't sound terribly difficult, but again, time constraints dictated what I could do. But you can see the path does go to this door over here. And that works for all of these, actually. I don't know if you want to take my word for that or not, but it does work. Because it's all under the same system, so all of these work properly, which is wonderful. And there's a report issues button, which brings up this tiny window on a device. This would be a little bigger, I imagine. General. Oh, and for clarification, I can make general reports, or I can make reports for specific buildings because I don't yet have building models. So if someone wants to say Rick's, and they're standing outside Rick's, they can say it looks bad, and note that those keys are still working. There. Submit report, and it has been submitted to this location here, down here, and actually I have 30 seconds I can show you. App data local, go back to app data, local low, default company, better map, reports. And it's in here. It looks bad, along with some past reports that I made. Looks stinky, looks weird, and bungus. It's not a real word, please don't assume that it is. So, and that all works. So hopefully that's good. I'm reaching 15 minutes. If there's anything else you'd like me to show, please let me know. But that's my project.